events. We break stories that shape.
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next hour. Jailed Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny confirms his arrival at an Arctic prison. In his social media post, says he's in good spirits. Russian defense minister says forces have stopped Ukraine's counteroffensive and are now pushing forward on all fronts. India vows strong response against those who perpetrated the MV Chem Pluto attack as India's Navy deploys warships to the Arabian Sea after the tanker attack. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds Sikh Guru's teachings on the VBal Divas, says the day symbolizes the resolve to do anything to protect nationalism or Bhartiyata. Jailed Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny on Tuesday confirmed his arrival at an Arctic prison and said he was in good spirits. Navalny posted an update on social media platform X after disappearing for more than 2 weeks. He also said he had seen his lawyer. His allies said on Monday he had been transferred to a penal colony north of the Arctic Circle. Navalny, President Vladimir Putin's fiercest domestic critic, is already serving sentences totaling 11.5 years on fraud and other charges that he says are bogus. Amidst the ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis, a Ukrainian attack on the Crimean port of Feodosia damaged a large Russian landing ship, killing 1 person and injuring 2 others. Moscow confirmed that the number of casualties and damage on Tuesday after Kiev said it had destroyed an important Russian warship. As per media reports, Ukraine used guided missiles launched by aircraft to attack Feodosia.
The operation was planned by the armed forces and other security forces. Footage that is on air now is impressive indeed. A warship was destroyed, most likely a warship with a set of ammunition, powerful one. If someone has information about the type of ammunition, it will be announced later.
Meanwhile, a text of a draft law posted on the website of Ukraine's parliament on Monday proposed lowering the age of those who can be mobilized for combat duty to 25 from 27. The draft text detailed which Ukrainian citizens would be subject to enrollment for military registration of conscripts and said that it would apply to those who have reached the age of 25. The proposed change comes as Ukraine's 22-month-old battle against Russia drags on. On Sunday, Ukraine and Russia exchanged claims over the downed military aircraft, and on Monday, Ukraine denied Russia's claim that its forces had seized the regional center, Mariinka, in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine has proposed to the country's parliament terminating a free trade agreement with Belarus. A minister said that the move to cancel the agreement was taken in connection with a fundamental change of circumstances involving Belarus in the illegal use of force against Ukraine. Ukraine proposes terminating the free trade agreement of December 1992 and 2 protocols related to the treaty. After Russia's invasion, Ukraine suspended its trade relations with Minsk. Under the Ukrainian law, interstate agreements must be terminated by parliament. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Belarus remains one of the Ukraine's main trading partners, supplying significant amounts of fuel, fertilizers to Kiev. Now, with the US and the EU funding delayed, Ukraine has received a vital $1.34 billion in funds from the World Bank. As per Ukraine's Ministry of Finance, the funds are expected to be used to partially compensate for non-security and defense-related expenditures of the Ukraine state budget, including old age social payments and payments to employees of the state emergency service. As the Russia-Ukraine war continues, the cash boost will aid Kiev to fight against Russia. And now moving on to the Israel-Hamas conflict that began following an attack on 7th of October by Hamas. This war continues and it seems that it will not end soon, as proclaimed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu asserted that Israel wanted to free its remaining hostages held by Hamas by applying military pressure.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to continue fighting against terror group Hamas until the end. Accompanied by Deputy Chief of Staff Major General Amir Baram, Netanyahu spoke with soldiers and commanders in northern Gaza on Monday, during which he said the war was far from over and dismissed what he cast as media speculation his government might call a halt to the fighting.
Whoever talks about stopping, there is no such thing. We are not stopping. The war will continue until the end. October 7th is not over. It is not over. We have to make sure that it never happens again. This requires what each and every one of you is asking for, just to continue until the end. Until the end. And I'm just proud of your determination. It's not easy. On the other hand, it is easy. Simply to continue to the end. I salute you like this.
Israel's Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant held a situation assessment in the IDF's Northern Command. Gallant expressed his appreciation to the head of the Northern Command and senior officers for their actions. He also emphasized that these will continue until the residents of northern Israel return to their homes. However, Israel, he said, will do what is necessary so that thousands of Israelis evacuated from near the border with Lebanon will be able to return home. Meanwhile, the families of Hamas hostages gathered in Tel Aviv in the hope of pleading authorities for help for their loved ones.
We want to hear what's the plan. What's the plan now? When Hamas says no to the deal, we want to know what's next.
Because they don't have any time over there in the tunnels and their life are in danger. And we hope that they will make a deal as soon as possible because we need to save them.
Meanwhile, 218 trucks loaded with humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza were inspected and transferred to the Gaza Strip on Monday. 76 of the trucks were inspected and transferred to Gaza via the recently opened Kerem Shalom crossing, which is located in the corner where the Egyptian, Israeli and Gazan borders meet. Bureau Report, DD India.
Israeli airstrike outside Syria's capital, Damascus, on Monday killed a senior advisor of Iran's Revolutionary Guards. The advisor, identified as one Sayyad Razi Mossadegh, was responsible for coordinating the military alliance between Syria and Iran. Iran's state television interrupted its regular news broadcast to announce that Mossadegh had been killed, describing him as one of the Guards' oldest advisors in Syria. It said that he had been among those accompanying Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Guard's elite Quds force, who was killed in a US drone attack in Iraq in the year 2020. In Serbia, thousands continue to protest over an election earlier this month that international monitors said was unfair. 38 people have been held by Serbian police, but more are likely to be arrested as law and order worsens. Now that it has been claimed that groups with foreign support are inciting protests over the Serbian election, the Kremlin has made its political debut in the country. DD India's Mihir Mekure gets us more.
Serbia is witnessing a major political uproar against reported widespread irregularities during a recent general ballot. Monday also saw several thousand people gather in front of the Central Election Commission building in Belgrade. Monday witnessed Serbian students banging pots and chanting quote-unquote disclosed ballot lists outside Serbian ministries, demanding an inspection of voters' list of parliamentary and local elections held a week ago that international observers said were unfair. As per Serbian police, the opposition's Sunday protest over election results resulted in 38 individuals being detained. Now, in order to preserve stability and tranquility, the police anticipate further arrests. The protesters assume that those being held by the police were being held at the main police station, so they marched there on Monday.
We are here tonight and we are peaceful. and we will stay peaceful. But that is not going to last forever. There is a wall behind us we were pushed against, while police cordons are in front of us. I'm asking Serbian President Alexander Vučić, who is paying for these police batons? Who is paying for those pepper sprays and the tear gas? Who is paying for that?
Since the December 17 elections, when Vučić's party declared victory in both the parliamentary and Belgrade municipal ballot elections, opposition group Serbia Against Violence has been staging rallies, claiming election fraud, especially in the capital city of Belgrade. Meanwhile, Serbia's ally Russia said foreign-backed forces were trying to foment trouble.
Besides, there are obvious processes and attempts of third-party forces, including foreign-backed forces, to provoke unrest in Belgrade. That is what we see. We have no doubt authorities of Republic will provide legitimacy in the country.
The protests on Sunday were also characterized by President Vučić as an effort to topple the administration with outside assistance. As a candidate for the European Union, Serbia has resisted calls from the West to impose sanctions on Russia because Moscow has long been one of Serbia's closest allies. Mihir Makri, DD India.
Russia's foreign ministry has said that Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will hold talks with his Indian counterpart, Dr. S. Jaishankar, in Moscow on Wednesday. It said in a statement that the ministers plan to discuss bilateral ties, as well as the conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza and issues related to the groups such as BRICS. India's foreign minister landed in Russia on Monday for a 5-day visit, during which he is expected to meet the country's top economic and foreign policy officials. And next we take a look at what else is happening around the world. A Bavarian town in Germany was flooded on Christmas Day due to heavy rainfall, causing River Naab to burst its banks. Emergency services secured boats, property and pumping water out of cellars. The river's water level rose above 3 meters and is expected to exceed 4 meters in the evening before receding. In a major breakthrough, a hospital in Tokyo has for the first time in Japan started administering a new drug to treat Alzheimer's disease. Lecanemab was jointly developed by Japanese pharmaceutical firm Eisai and its US partner Biogen. The drug is designed to slow the progression of the disease by reducing the accumulation of the amyloid beta protein in the brain. Turkish-Australian drug trafficker Hakan Ayik, who was arrested on the 2nd of November, was captured in Istanbul along with 36 others being used by Turkish police after his arrest. Exotic cars seized from one of the world's alleged biggest drug traffickers and ex-Sydney bikie Hakan Ayik are now being used as police vehicles by the Turkish police. Ollie, the cat, is believed to have made history when the furry feline set sail as part of a boat's crew in the annual Sydney to Hobart yacht race. Ollie and his owner, Bob Williams, a retired Navy officer, have sailed around the country for the past 5 years. You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. A Hindu temple in Kunamangalam in India's southern state, Kerala's Kozhikode, has been selected for UNESCO's Asia-Pacific Award for Cultural Heritage Conservation. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi becomes the first world leader to reach 20 million subscribers on his YouTube channel.
India's huge leaps towards becoming self-reliant in defense sector. Policy changes enabling increased involvement of private sector. From humanitarian assistance to rescue operations. Increased synergy among armed forces through joint military exercises. Watch Echoes 2023, India's defenders at these times only on DD India.
Year 2023 can best be described as an year filled with excitement, challenges and accomplishments in the world of sports, both for India and the world. All this and lots more in our special Sports at the Rate 2023 flashback in our program called Game Changers.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. The Indian Navy deployment of guided missile destroyers to maintain a deterrent presence in view of the recent attacks in Arabian Sea. Taking into consideration a spate of attacks on commercial vessels, the Indian Navy deployed 3 warships, INS Marmugao, INS Kochi and INS Kolkata, to maintain a deterrent presence in the region. Meanwhile, MV Chem Pluto, carrying 21 Indians and 1 Vietnamese crew, which was earlier reported as attacked by a suspected drone on Saturday, reached Mumbai and was safely anchored at the outer anchorage of India's financial capital. On its arrival, the Indian Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team inspected the vessel to make a preliminary assessment of the type and nature of the attack. Further, forensic and technical analysis is being done to establish the vector of attack, including type and the amount of explosives used. India further has vowed strong response against those who perpetrated the attacks on MV Chem Pluto in the Arabian Sea and drone attack on the vessel MV Sai Baba in the Red Sea. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh assured to find those who masterminded the attacks.
भारत की बढ़ती आर्थिक और सामरिक ताकत ने कुछ ताकतों को ईर्ष्या और द्वेष से भर दिया है। अरब सागर में हाल में हुए एमवी चैम प्लूटो पर ड्रोन हमले और कुछ पहले लाल सागर में एमवी साईं बाबा पर हुए हमले को भारत सरकार ने बहुत ही गंभीरतापूर्वक लिया है। भारतीय नौसेना ने समुद्र की निगरानी बढ़ा दी है। जिन्होंने भी इस हमले को अंजाम दिया है, उन्हें हम सागर तल से भी ढूंढ निकालेंगे और उनके खिलाफ कठोर कार्रवाई की जाएगी। मैं यह आपको आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं।
Indian Navy today commissioned its latest stealth-guided missile destroyer INS Infal at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai. The event was attended by India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The event marks the formal induction into the Navy of the third of 4 Visakhapatnam-class destroyers, indigenously designed by the Indian Navy's in-house organisation, Warship Design Bureau, and constructed by the Madgaon Dock Limited, Mumbai. Infal is the first warship to have been named after a city from the northeast, underlining the importance of the region for national security, sovereignty and prosperity. The Indian Defence Minister said that the induction of INS Infal into Indian Navy shows India's self-reliance in the defence sector.
INS Infal का भारतीय नौसेना में शामिल होना रक्षा क्षेत्र में भारत की आत्मनिर्भरता का यह जीता जागता प्रमाण है। यह राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के प्रति MDL एवं नेवी की कमिटमेंट और इसके निर्माण में शामिल सभी स्टेक होल्डर्स की कठिन मेहनत, लगन और समर्पण को भी दर्शाता है। INS इंफाल की कमीशनिंग भारत की नौसैनिक शक्ति को और मजबूती प्रदान करेगा, ऐसा मेरा पक्का विश्वास है।
And if you're wondering what Indian Navy's newest ship INS Infal looks like and what it is capable of, take a look in our next report.
We will soon be celebrating New Year, and as we celebrate the New Year, there's another good news coming in from the Indian Navy side, INS Infal. It is third of Project Bees. This will also be counted as one of the most biggest and potent ships of the whole world. And as we talk about the features, we will soon be taking you inside and show you the various compartments and what are the features that ships has got.
Measuring 163 meters in length, displacing 7,400 tons and with 75% indigenous content, INS Infal can rightfully be regarded as one of the most potent warships to have been constructed in India. A first for any indigenous warship, INS Infal successfully test-fired the extended-range supersonic BrahMos missile in November 2023 before commissioning.
INS Infal is the newest ship of the Indian Navy. It is the third of the 4 Project 15 Bravo destroyers, which are also called the Visakhapatnam class. The Infal, along with other P-15 Bravo destroyers, these are the largest and the most advanced destroyers in the world.
The ship is a potent platform capable of undertaking a variety of tasks and missions, spanning the full spectrum of maritime warfare. It is armed with supersonic surface-to-surface BrahMos missiles and Barak 8 medium-range surface-to-air missiles. Towards undersea warfare capability, the destroyer is fitted with indigenously developed anti-submarine weapons and sensors, prominently the hull-mounted Sonar Hamsa NG, heavyweight torpedo tube launchers and ASW rocket launchers.
With regards to the BrahMos deck, we have two UVLMs of the BrahMos which have a carrying capacity of 16 missiles. So a total of 16 BrahMos missiles, which is the surface-to-surface missile, can be carried on board. And they are universal role that indicates that they can be used against anti-shipping as well as land attack variant. So we can undertake engagement of enemy ships as well as undertake attack on their land targets.
The ship can accommodate a crew of 312 persons, has an endurance of 4,000 nautical miles and can carry out a typical 42 days mission with extended mission time and out of area operation. The ship is equipped with 2 helicopters on board to further extend its reach. INS Infal is also the first naval warship be commissioned with accommodation of women officers and sailors. Infal will have the unique distinction of being the largest and the most advanced destroyer to be ever named after a city from the northeast. This is a befitting tribute to Manipur's sacrifices and contribution in India's freedom struggle.
When India reaches the year 2047 and becomes 100-year-old of the independence, we definitely can say that Indian Navy will play a huge role in becoming self-reliant Atmanirbhar Bharat. With camera person Jitesh Rathod, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
And from Mumbai to New Delhi now, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the VBal Divas program at the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. On the occasion, Prime Minister Modi flagged off a march past by youth. The VBal Divas marks the martyrdom of Shri Guru Gobind Singh's sons, Sahibzadas, Baba Zorawar Singh and Baba Fateh Singh. Addressing the event marking the VBal Divas, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that youth power can take the country to new heights, which is beyond imagination. He added that VBal Divas is a symbol of going to any extent for the protection of nationalism or Bhartiyata.
VBal Divas भारतीयता की रक्षा के लिए कुछ भी कर गुजरने के संकल्प का प्रतीक है। ये दिन हमें याद दिलाता है कि शौर्य की पराकाष्ठा के समय कम आयु मायने नहीं रखती। ये उस महान विरासत का पर्व है जहां गुरु कहते थे, सूरा सो पहचानिए, सूरा सो पहचानिए, जो लड़े दिन के हेत, पुरजा कट मरे, कभू ना छाड़े खेत.
More from India. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and Minister of State L. Murugan are in the southern state of Tamil Nadu, where they conducted a review with district officials regarding the flood damage and ongoing relief work in the rain-battered Tuticorin district. The union ministers inspected the photographs displaying the flood damage stored in the collector's office in Anthaniyarpuram. State Finance Minister Thangam Tenarasu, Tuticorin Member of Parliament Kannimure, Legislative BJP President Nayanar Nagendran and senior officials were present during this meeting. Following this, the ministers visited and inspected the flood-affected areas of the Tuticorin district. Normalcy is gradually returning in this coastal district, with the state administration and civic authorities involved in relief and restoration work. Those who have been temporarily lodged in relief camps have started returning to their houses to clear the sludge and litter deposited by the floods caused due to unprecedented rain on December 17th and 18th in the district. The Indian government is running a nationwide outreach campaign called Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra to raise awareness of the government's schemes and to achieve their saturation level. In this series, the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra's mega event was organized by the district administration at the new bus stand Rajouri in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, where a large number of people participated in it. The Deputy Commissioner of Rajouri also flagged off the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, a campaign to save women. The various departments were installed here on the occasion. And beneficiaries of the centrally sponsored schemes shared their progressive stories under the segment Meri Kahani, Meri Zubani. And after being declared the most popular world leader by Morning Consult with an approval rating of 76% in early December, the year-ender just got better for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Just a day after Christmas, his YouTube channel has reached 20 million subscribers, a first for any world leader. With 4.5 billion video views, the Narendra Modi channel on YouTube leads the pack in terms of subscribers, video views and quality of videos being posted by political leaders on YouTube. And now we take you to a Hindu temple in Kunamangalam in India's southern state, Kerala's Kozhikode. This temple has been selected for UNESCO's Asia-Pacific Award for Cultural Heritage Conservation. Our next report tells you all about the Karnikara Mandapam of Kunamangalam Bhagavati Temple in Kozhikode and its renovation.
The Karnikara Mandapam of Kunamangalam Bhagavati Temple in southern Indian state of Kerala is an architectural marvel fashioned after a lotus. In its original state, the pavilion was made entirely with 16 wooden pillars made of teak. A member of the temple's management committee, Dr. Abida Puttasuri, talks more about the temple and its renovation work.
Kozhikode Karunur Kundamangalam Sri Bhagavati Kshetram, about 1,000 years old temple. Recently we got a UNESCO award 2023. This award is mainly for the conservation of the tradition and also the sustainable development. Here the award is for our revival of the Karnikara Mandapam. Normally the Karnikara Mandapam is made with 4 pillars, but here it is very rare. It is made with 16 pillars with a wood called Venga, and here we completed this work within 2.5 months.
The 1,000-year-old temple has been renovated according to Tachu Sastra's judgment without losing its legacy. With an immense support from the Archival and Research Project, an organization working for the preservation of the architectural heritage of Kerala, the project attained completion. Kirat Chawla for DD India.
So with that architectural marvel, we wind up this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at DD India Live. You can also find us online at ddindia.co.in. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Tanvi Taneja. From my entire team in New Delhi, thank you for watching. Namaskar.